Let's bring in Colorado Governor Jared Polis now, who's going to join us live, talk about the news of the day. First, on the vaccines, Governor. So Colorado moved today to make the COVID vaccine more accessible to those who want it, while the state of Florida simultaneously moved to lift all vaccine mandates, including for school children. So I know you're less enthusiastic about vaccine mandates than a lot of your fellow Democrats, but I want to ask you, what do you think of the idea of vaccine access being limited by the feds while vaccine mandates are being lifted altogether in some states?
Well, your jacket's a little loud, so it's hard for me to concentrate, Kyle. But let me be clear. We want to remove all barriers that exist to make it easy for anybody who wants to get vaccinated to get vaccinated. At the same time, in our schools, we don't have a mandate. Now, we have a default where your kid gets vaccinated or you sign a form that opts out. You don't need to see a doctor for that. You can do it as a matter of conscience. But we do pride ourselves on trying to increase our vaccination rate. And schools are mostly talking about measles. With this action today, from our chief medical officer, we're talking about making it easier to get the COVID vaccination. What I'm encouraging people to do is simply to get it with their flu vaccine sometime in the next few weeks. It's typically fall time. You can get protected from COVID and from flu. Very simple, takes 10 minutes at your local pharmacy. Obviously, call ahead to make sure they're well stocked with both.
The reason that Colorado had to jump through this extra step is because of what's going on currently with America's health policy under Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You enthusiastically supported him for health secretary, and as recently as last week, as he was gutting the CDC of experts, you praised where you have been able to work together with him on shared priorities. Here's my question for you. Has RFK Jr. done more harm or more good to Americans' health?
Well, this step is bad, right? And I was very worried about what he might do with vaccines. In fact, in my initial comments, when I saw he's nominated, I said, I hope he leans into vaccine choice and empowering people. What the CDC did in making it harder for people in many states, it depends on the state, to get the vaccine that they want is contrary to the public health interest. I really hope they reconsider. In the meantime, we took action to preserve the options of Coloradans to protect our health. So any Coloradan can simply go to their pharmacy, get the COVID vaccine, just like the flu vaccine, and I encourage people to do it.
President Trump recently warned of quote-unquote harsh measures if you refuse to free his ally Tina Peters. She's the former elections clerk serving prison time for tampering with election systems. And then yesterday, the president pulls Space Command out of Colorado, and he specifically cited the election rigging conspiracy theories that are pushed by Peters and others. Here's my question for you. Do you think that the president will stop punishing Colorado by doing things like pulling Space Command if you just free Tina Peters?
No, I don't. First of all, justice is not for sale, Kyle. We look at any time we look at how we do that. So obviously, she was convicted by a jury. That has nothing to do with apparently the president's dislike for mail-in ballots, which Colorado has. And one of the great things about mail-in ballots is we actually keep the paper ballots. They can be recounted if you don't believe in the result, and often they are. If it's close, there's usually very little variance, and there's always a few that are marked in a way where it can be challenged if it's very close. But I think it's absolutely ridiculous to pull mail-in ballots into a decision that affects our national security, Kyle, right? This affects national security. There are many reasons. Many generals, former, current, have spoken about the disruption to our preparedness in the space domain if this is relocated to Huntsville, Alabama from Colorado Springs, Space Command. And that's why we've made the argument very strongly that it should stay in Colorado Springs. This argument is contrary to that. And if you cited mail-in ballots, that has nothing to do with national security. And it's very scary that a president would cite that for something that has to do with keeping the American people safe.
Governor, in 10 seconds, is Space Command a done deal? It's gone back and forth, but is it a done deal now? It's leaving?
I don't know. I know that I've heard publicly our Attorney General plans to file suit. We certainly hope to continue to make the case. So I think the machinations will start, not immediately, for the movement. We're going to do everything we can to make the case, keep America safe, and the best place to do that is with Space Command right here in Colorado Springs.
Governor Jared Polis, thank you for the time joining us live. Appreciate it.